Hello and welcome to a special edition of 8-Bit, the 8-Bit Awesome Podcast. I'm William Penny. Joining me, you've got Chris, as always, Chris Calendar Populus?
What's going on? That could be my Pokemon name, Calendar Populus.
Calendar Populus, and you're like Garbodor, except you're a pile of steaming pile of poo. And
I actually feel like that's quite an endearing comment. Thank you.
I love Garbodor. I don't care what anyone
that's why
says.
I feel like it.
And then we got Willie Clark, whose favorite Pokemon is the ice cream cone.
Yo,
terrible
hop off my
cone.
dick. Ice cream cone, mad awesome Pokemon. I can't even remember its
You don't even
name.
know its name, do you? God, you're a terrible Poke fan. You don't even like... Well, I guess I don't know the name either, but I only don't know it because it's so terrible. It's just the worst. Anyway, we got a special edition here for you today. It's a special Pokemon edition because yesterday at 6 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, Nintendo held a special Pokemon Direct.
First of its kind.
Yeah, very first.
Vanilla Lux. That's the name of the ice cream
Wow,
Pokemon.
what a
Suck my
great
dick.
name to go with a fucking great Pokemon. Anyway, so they showed us the first footage of the next generation Pokemon games, the 6th gen. It'll be released in October worldwide. Thank God. Thank the freaking Lord, because I don't want to have to import Pokemon again.
And may God rest the souls of the translators who have to get this done in Europe.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh yeah, Europe's got it really fucked with all the countries.
But now I can save $90, and I don't have to import it and just not even finish the game. That's what I do with Black and White. I imported it for $90 and didn't even finish it because I had no clue what was going on. Anyway, let's get right into the meat of this podcast. We're going to just do what's also very first for us. We're doing a video podcast. We're going to walk you through this trailer here. There's a ton of meat, even though it's only like a minute and a half.
Ton of meat, lots of meat.
Yeah, I love meat. I just love meat in and around my face. So let's just get going and get this meat near our
We
mouth.
are earning our mature rating.
Here we go.
Yes.
Hey, might as well earn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, if you guys need to, visit esrb.org for rating information.
Yes, don't forget to do that. That's a very important step before you watch any trailer.
Or if you're in the UK, it's Peggy12.
So we start off with this really cool Pikachu intro.
That does not represent actual game footage.
Yeah, but who cares? He's so cute.
Pika, Pika.
Okay, so we're going to stop it right here. I know I had to stop it 3 times because I'm a spaz, but first thing you notice, Pikachu was standing on the Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
Just make note of that. Eiffel Tower, my
Eiffel
favorite
Tower.
my favorite sexual position, but also Pikachu was on it.
Although,
So-
if you look at it, Eiffel Tower is kind of not actually... It's just the Eiffel Tower in the middle of an unknown city because that's not actually where the Eiffel Tower is if you look at the buildings around it, but...
No, that's a garden.
Nonetheless.
That's like the same garden, but the city in the background is totally
Yeah.
not Paris. There are no skyscrapers.
No.
Okay, so let's get... And he's thunderbolting the whole world.
Wait, is that Thunderbolt or Thunder?
So, okay, we can also stop here. A lot of people were guessing that there might be some sort of customization, because I feel like whenever you're in a game and your character stares into a mirror, it's usually because you're changing their characteristics around. Also, those glasses on his brim kind of look like they're just floating there. Like, it's not one model, it's a couple different models. So
Yeah.
that's something also to think about. And
Yep.
this is also our first look of the full 3D. A lot of jaggies you can see on the edge of the cupboard there, but I mean, this is again. If you look,
I mean, that's not Pokemon's fault. That's 3DS fault.
and if you
Well,
see right
and
there,
I
it
will
says
say too, on every single game I've played on the 3DS,
Mhm.
any video capture of it or screenshots have been
Yeah.
very jagged, and then playing the game in person, it's completely different.
that's also
That's very
because
true, yeah.
the resolution of the screen is like 3 pixels by 3 pixels, and now we're watching it on like a full good quality screen.
Yeah.
So it looks better when it's smaller. That's
I mean,
definitely true.
it's also worth noting that you see a lot more here than you probably realize. Little things like the wall decoration and the fact that there's actually a mirror with reflections is something you'd never see in a Pokemon game or any 3DS game for that matter. You see his bag as well, which looks like they're going to be using the same mechanic for carrying around items. It's unclear whether his bicycle will fit in that bag, but I guess we'll get onto that with the rollerblades later on.
You'll also
but there's-
notice that game footage is not final, and that the game and the system are sold separately. With the important point.
This is true.
no, the
and
game
you
footage
can- and
not
there's
final
parental controls if you
is a
want to
big
check
deal
and the 3D's
because
off. Don't forget that the 3D's off.
3D is off.
this is not actually in 3D.
By the way, I wonder if this looks jaggier because it is on a 3DS XL. I mean, I know it's just superimposed, but you never know what they captured
But
it on.
again,
right?
this resolution is, we're watching it 1080, and the screen for 3DS is like it's like 600 or less.
For
I
sure,
don't even
for
know
sure.
what it is.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
And
I wouldn't worry about the Jaggies too much, especially since footage isn't final.
yeah, 8
And-
months to clean it up. So
Yeah.
or 10 months, I guess. Oh, we got Route 3 right here. Let me pause it again. Shit, I'm a huge spaz. Oh wow, this is gonna be fun watching me fuck around.
It's okay.
So we got Route 3.
Yep.
As you can see, they're not dynamic camera angles, but I guess depending on where the environment, the camera changes. So we just have this stationary camera behind his back.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I like the stationary camera behind his back. I think it would have been better, I mean, at least from what I see here, if it was a little bit higher up and more of like a 45-degree angle, just because you get a better view of what's coming up ahead. And
I like that too. But you get, you get to see that the city is off in the distance, which is kind of neat. But again, I do like seeing overhead. You get a
top down, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and with that said,
information.
being a full 3D game, you got to wonder maybe that they will give you multiple camera angles and say, look, you can play this top down or 45 or whatever, and let you kind of play around with it a little bit more too. So who knows?
Hopefully, I mean, I
I
kind
doubt
of
it,
doubt that, but
it's possible. The other, I'm assuming the other interesting things that I want to point out is I'm assuming that's the grass that you'll walk through and get encounters that you can see there. The other thing, which a lot of people have been talking about, is whether or not this game is going to have actual random encounters where you can't see them, or if it's going to go the 3D route that a lot of other RPGs have taken lately, where when you're in grass, you'll be able to see enemies and avoid them or walk up to them. And from this, I'm guessing that Pokemon's not going to be implementing that.
you know, I from later in the trailer, I think I'll show you why I don't think that'll happen, but I think it'll just stick to the regular formula where, you know, it'll be random as you're walking through tall grass or in a cave or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
as much as I hated the whole grass encounter thing, I mean, not knowing when it was going to happen, it's still a staple of the franchise. It's got to be there. You shouldn't be able to avoid them.
I mean, I don't know. You could say that it's been a staple of every RPG franchise ever made, and a lot of people are starting to get away from that. Like, personally, I like it. I like being randomly just stuff popping up, but a lot of people, that's one of the reasons RPGs are just kind of, people aren't happy with them.
Yeah.
So let's just keep on watching.
Also worth noting, there was probably a Pokemon song in the background there, but that's okay.
Something I want to point out right here. You can see,
sorry, people who are just listening to this that aren't really seeing things are bad.
Go to Pokemon.com and watch the trailer as we say this.
or go to 8bit.com and just watch our video screen capture.
Yeah, 8bitawesome.com works too.
So this is pretty cool. I don't know if this is going to be a gym, because a lot of times there's some sort of dynamic cool stuff in gyms, or maybe they're just going to change up forests or something. But one really big thing that not many people pointed out is, can you see this over here where my mouse is? This is his sunglasses. Obviously, it's a glitch, but
Could be.
no, those are his sunglasses.
No, it could be a glitch. We don't know.
No, it is a glitch because his sunglasses came off. I mean, why would his sunglasses just stay behind?
Now, were they on him before as he started swinging?
Yes.
Oh, they were. Okay, I didn't see
And
that.
then they
Okay.
glitched off of him. But that definitely proves that the glasses are a separate model. And why, if there was
that's
no
true.
character customization, why there would have a separate glasses model that would just sit on top atop his brim? Because that's much harder to program for than to just, have it be part of his hat or to
part
be
of his
connected
hat, yeah.
to his hat. So,
I mean, this doesn't look as... it's certainly a lot more dynamic than what we would get out of any other Pokemon game. I mean, you see the footsteps there. Those are kind of the markers for where he has to kind of get on. So it's almost like these are kind of QuickTime animations.
yeah, you
This
just get to
whole
the rope.
thing reminds me really, really a lot of Skyward Sword with the vine swinging around Faron Woods.
Uh-huh. But I mean, it also reminds me of some of the DS, Diamond and Pearl and Platinum and Black and White gyms, where they kind of had
I
little
definitely
events
think
like
this
that.
is what
So
we're probably looking at. This is probably a gem.
yeah, like a
Could be.
grass gym, one of the early grass gyms or something. So, but again, the glasses I thought was interesting, and I'm sure they'll fix that. That little glitch.
Or not,
And then, pretty quickly we get into another thing. This is the female trainer running here.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah, I like the styling of
Kind of looks like Chelsea Flint, eh?
No.
Chelsea. God damn it! Why?
The interesting thing.
Hi, Chelsea.
The interesting thing I do want to point out here is the shift in camera angles that we see.
Yeah.
And granted, this could just be for the trailer. You never know. Because it would be very weird to have it go into like this 3D side-scrolling thing, unless you can change the camera anytime you want.
No,
I'm also
but
guessing
my
these
thought here
flowers
is
are probably going to act the same way as grass. But
my thought here is, depending on what route you are, the camera just might be in a fixed position or in a specific position, not fixed necessarily.
I could see them doing that, like route by route.
But
That would be really, really, really annoying, though.
It would
I mean,
be.
having
I would
this
be-
kind of view,
yeah, I would be
when you're
annoyed.
used to a top-down view, it would be very. I mean, those are the kinds of games that have really nasty camera frame rate, or not frame rate issues, but camera position issues. They could really butcher the playability of this game.
Yeah,
if they
I
do
hope
that.
it's just changeable camera angles rather than.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of having them be different route by route, because then it's like, you know, it could kind of, then they're kind of focusing one. It makes all the routes a little different, because that, you know, they all kind of look the same for the most part. And then it also allows them to like show you kind of which way you're heading to go and like the background that they want you to see. I don't know. I think that could actually kind of work.
I don't know, the consistency thing. Just
It's also worth noting that using parental controls to restrict the 3D mode for children 6 and under is advisable.
I mean, why are you letting your 6-year-old play a 3DS
Well,
anyway?
it's just well,
But,
because he's 2 times 3. Duh.
So let's get right into this next scene pretty quickly. So let you watch that. Obviously, he's skating, and he's not running. He's skating. You can take a look at his foot. I don't actually see any blades on him, but the way he's running,
skating.
he's
Also,
definitely
that,
skating.
That dude in the background, totally the rival. He also kind of looks like
No.
shaded Link.
I don't know if he's a rival. We'll come to him later in the trailer.
We
as
will.
well.
We'll get to him later in,
But,
in what looks like a gym, too.
Yeah, he looks like he's at the gym. But if we look right behind here, this is like some weird futuristic Pokemon Eiffel Tower.
Yep.
So the reason I pointed that out in the beginning was because every generation has been based upon a different location. The first 3, namely, being different regions of Japan. The last one kind of was based upon the United States, more specifically New York.
New York City.
And now it looks like they're kind of basing this game around Europe or maybe just France specifically.
I'm not sure that this is, excuse me, entirely true, but it kind of has a little X shape to it. I don't know if that's an X or Y kind of thing. I mean, you never know what it looks like from the side. I don't think that makes any difference, but
I think
could
it's just
be a nod to the X and Y.
I think it's just an Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
you never know.
I'm going with the Eiffel Tower thing.
Me too.
God, that's the 3rd time. So this is pretty cool, but another different camera angle. So I mean, I hope to God it's not like that throughout the game, but you never know. And then we got this statue in the background, which
With
kinda,
yet another camera angle.
we got a statue in the background with a bunch of different Pokemon. I can't really make out what they are.
Nah.
Um,
The one thing I do hope is we're seeing these really big cities and big areas. I hope you can actually go into the buildings. Like, they have not been good about, even in Black and White, they made these huge areas with lots of buildings, but half of them you couldn't even go into. Half of them didn't have fucking doors.
well, if we go
Right.
back, I mean, obviously this is probably still not early, but not finished stuff. But if we go back, the last 2 scenes in this big city, there's one guy in the street. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But
look.
the doors do look like they're different kind of geometry, like they're different colors, and
not-
they look
yeah,
like
the
they're
red
made-
one and the
They do,
blue
but
one
then
right
you
there.
couldn't go into them, and
No.
that was one of the things that let me down about Black and White. Was they're like, okay, we're trying to make this Pokemon city, these Pokemon world, and you go into like these big cities, and it's like you and 3 other fucking people.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
here's the other thing too, right? If you look at it, it is a completely 3D based game, but it looks like, now we don't know if this is just the trailer and everybody being completely still, but it looks like everybody's still traveling on a grid on a straight line.
And
Uh,
I
people
don't
are
mind
standing
that. I really
in-
don't mind that at all. Actually,
I don't mind that, but it's still interesting to say, there were even Zelda games that looked like sprites that you could travel in any direction, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can't do that here, which is a little bit interesting.
So, but in terms of the cities being sparse, that obviously that could just be early development, or it could just be like Black and White, where it's going to end up being empty. I think one of the things I'm scared about for this upcoming Pokemon is, with the shift to 3D. Obviously 3D, polygons take up more space than sprites on a cart. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that it might be even more sparse than the previous games, just because the nature of how much more space
See,
the
I know,
game
you-
will
Maybe,
take
but
up.
don't forget the 3DS cartridge can be expanded to put whatever amount of memory they need, right?
Well, not
No,
whatever
it
amount
can't
of
go up
memory.
as to anything they need, but it can
Well,
go
but,
really
uh,
high.
It can go really high, and
And
don't
like
forget
a-
a game.
And especially like looking at this, like if you look at a game like Resident Evil Revelations or like Kid Icarus, or like something that has really, really, really good 3DS graphics. Like,
Yeah.
if they can fit a whole game of that on a cart,
Yeah,
like Pokemon
but those-
shouldn't have a problem.
Those games don't push 40 hours like Pokemon games do. So that's another thing to keep.
No, but don't forget
And
these
there's-
polygons though are. I mean, there's still only 7 worlds. It's not like these massive areas, right? I mean, you look at Wii U game downloads. Nano Assault Neo was 80 megabytes. Chasing Aurora was 100 megabytes. I'm just looking up some here. Obviously, Scribblenauts Unlimited was only 1,300 megabytes.
But you also have to keep in mind that there's going to be 700 different creatures
That's
that
true.
they need to
Well,
do.
Well-
we
And
don't.
and
No. We don't know that for sure, though. And I
yes,
want to bring.
I just read a pre-R statement by someone from Nintendo that said there will be 700 plus Pokemon in this game.
It said all of them were coming back.
It just said there you will be able to. I don't know if it said capture in this game because not all games you've been able to capture them all, but it said you'll be able to play with 700 plus
Okay,
Pokemon.
no. The only reason I bring up that point is at the very end of the Nintendo Direct, Iwata said something to the effect of like, if you notice, there are old Pokemon in this too, and you'll be able to play around with some of them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I kind of
Are-
liked the black and white reboot idea of not having the new ones till the very end. But it looks like that's not what they're doing with this.
But anyway, back to my original statement. When we have 700 different Pokemon, and as we're going to see later, they show a little bit of the battles. They're not just sitting there. These are dynamic. They had to animate also, movement on all these Pokemon depending on different moves.
That's true. Yeah.
So 700 times 20 different moves each.
Yeah. I mean,
Is
it's,
can
it's
be
a
a
lot.
lot.
it's
It's a
still
lot.
a lot, but you also have to remember too, one, those still aren't the most resource intensive things to hold, and two, a lot of those moves kind of build off each other, or a lot of things are shared resources. Like these building designs could be a lot of the same things, just colored differently for different towns. That's a trick Pokemon's used forever. All the towns are very much similar looking kind of things. In 3D, that looks much worse. So I would hope that they wouldn't do that, but it's still possible.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think there definitely is the worry. That was one of the reasons, again, I liked Black and White so much, was you kind of had, it was so long. And I mean, but I still kind of miss the days of like Gold, where you get to go back and have 8 whole new gyms, and it's like twice as long. So I don't know.
So let's keep on playing and see what else we can talk about here. Here's just another shot. I actually think the graphics here look really pretty good considering I didn't like the other stuff. This is also starting to show off a little bit of the cell shading. If you look down at the main character, you can see the dark outlines on him. It makes him look more like a sprite almost than a 3D model. Let's keep on going.
And that's cool. I mean, it's a good way to kind of parry the fact that the 3DS is not the most graphically intensive capable system, but they still know how to put in graphics that make it look as good as it can.
Yeah, I love cell shading, so it's always a good move. And here are our 3 starters. Chespin, my absolute favorite.
The worst fucking Pokemon ever
Yeah,
made.
I've always been a grass fan, and no, I don't mean marijuana. I mean grass Pokemon. Chespin he's cute, and he's certainly not as bad as Froakie, but I don't know.
Oh
I'm
my
all
god!
about
First of
Fennekin.
all, does anyone else see this? 2 round balls and a shaft. Am I the only one?
On what?
On Frokie's nose, do you see the 2 nostrils and his
I've
blue?
never noticed that before. That's funny.
I never noticed that either.
Oh, it gets even worse right there. Hold on.
And wait, can I just say that it's between 2 big boobs?
Hold on.
Yo, they did that on purpose.
He's tit fucking himself. Come on,
Look,
guys.
right there. It's even worse in 3D. Round balls and the shaft right between his nose.
Now it's interesting. A lot of these guys seem to be double
Double type.
Pokemon. They're using different moves other than water moves or grass or fire moves. They're using fighting and psychic moves.
I mean, we've
That's been the
always had
speculation.
firefighting, though. Like, firefighting's been around for like...
No,
ever.
but actually, if we go back to Fennekin,
Yeah.
I think right here. Wait, that's shoot. What is he casting right there? Does that look like confusion or something, or
that looks like
pink?
confusion.
Yeah, so
Could be confusion, yeah.
So
Could be a new type of Hyper Beam or Aurora Beam though too.
Why
I
would
don't
why
know.
the fuck would a fire Pokemon know Aurora Beam?
Well, so here's my theory:
So-
is that it might be possible to train Pokemon to say, okay, give them a berry to hold, or give them this to hold, or whatever it is, to say you can learn this type of move or something like that, or you can have one psychic move or one kind of move in your repertoire. That's not. I mean, that would change the game up dramatically because suddenly you go up against a Fire Gym and now he's got a Pokemon that's about to hit you with a psychic move or with a with another kind of move, which might be really freaking confusing, but would add a lot of strategic element to the game.
a lot of
Yeah,
speculation.
That's possible, but I doubt they like this. All looks like early footage from the beginning of the game, like when you just get the starters. So it would surprise me if that's something they would do.
Could be.
The speculation I've seen is, as you were saying a little bit, that Fennekin could be Fire Psychic, which would be a really cool.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
I might go towards her if it was that.
And
The
from
dude.
the other things they've seen in the other Pokemon, it could be dark and fighting as well. So that it would be like a reverse triangle. Fire beats grass beats water,
Yep.
and then they would each have a different type that would be the inverse. Dark beats psychic beats fighting beats dark. So that would be really actually pretty neat.
That would be cool.
And
I'd be down
confusing
with
as
that.
hell because these types weren't confusing enough already.
Dude, they're not. Dude, the types are easy as fuck. They've been the same for 15 years.
But I'm just going to stop it right here. Maybe in 1 sec. Let me go back. This is really exciting, guys. But this is another instance. I feel like the cell shading looks really good. Kind of Pat Rat right there looks almost like a sprite rather than a 3D model. With the the dark black lines outlining him and the shading.
But in the best way. Like, he looks really good.
No. I
Yeah.
mean, in a good way. I like
Yeah.
that. So, and right here we have another person following behind our trainer. Some people have speculated. Again, this is far-fetched, so you don't have to buy into this hype.
Wait, like
Far-fetched.
Farfetch'd? Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
But if you watch how she follows him, she doesn't follow exactly in his path. So, I mean, that AI would be kind of interesting and weird. That's not how normal AI would work if it's just an NPC. So some people have been speculating co-op, and there's been some strangely worded things in PR statements. If you read the Pokemon X and Y PR statement, it says something like you can play the game as if you're playing with your friends or something.
Yeah.
It's very vaguely worded, so...
I mean, you never know. I mean, I don't think this is going to be an open world game by any stretch, but you never know how they're going to incorporate. I mean, this could be a ghost, right? Like Street Pass kind of thing where you're running through like a Safari Zone kind of thing and you're seeing how fast you can get through, and that's somebody's ghost, right?
That's actually... when they first announced Street Pass, the first thing I thought of was Pokemon. And though I don't agree with all of the different ways they implemented online functionality in Black and White, at least they implemented it. Fucking Black and White had video chat, and the fucking Wii didn't even have it.
Yeah.
So I'm very
Are
excited.
you angry, Will?
Excuse me?
What?
Are you angry about that, Willie?
Yeah, come on, so I'm very excited to see what they're gonna push in terms of the connectivity features, because the 3DS has some amazing connectivity stuff.
Yeah, I would love to see what they do with it.
The other thing to see in this scene is the light coming through. I doubt that it's dynamic. I don't think that we're going to have actual natural light because the light that's actually falling on the ground looks a bit pixelated, but it does look
It looks pretty
good.
Yeah,
either
it
way.
looks pretty. I like it.
Yeah.
So let's. Oh, right here with the grass spreading apart. I feel like that obviously is like what the random encounters would look like.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, so you wouldn't be able to see Pikachu. That grass would pull back, and then you would see which Pokemon you ended up randomly encountering. You know, on a. And again, I think Pikachu looks really good here with the cell shading, and again the dark outline, similar
Is
thing.
it just me, or does Pikachu look really off here a little bit though? Like the eyes and the mouth and the cheeks are good, but his
Kind of
body
just
just
fat.
seems bizarre.
I mean,
I feel
original
like Pikachu looks like he has a fat head.
No, I think his head, the shape is perfect. I think the ears are a little bit small, and his body's like all chubs at the bottom.
He was really chubby in the first Pokemon. I think it's just the different models change every game.
Yeah,
So
I guess
they
so.
decided to make him look like this.
I'll go
I saw in another video. I don't have obviously something to compare it to, but I've seen a side by side comparison of this model and the Pokemon 3DS Pokédex models.
Yeah.
And they are different. You know, this is cell shaded.
For sure,
but it's
yeah.
not just a cel-shaded version of that model. It's a completely different redone model. So
the one thing, this is back talking about the battles though, is I really like the battle animations. I'm slightly worried that it might slow down battles though. As it was, battles.
Assuming you can't turn them off.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I
there
don't
are
want
also
to turn them
options
off.
in
I
many
just wanna be
games
able
to
speed
turn them
through
off.
And that's something they've always done. But I don't want battles to turn into 15 minutes of me watching moves and like 30 seconds
and just mashing the A button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that even Black and White and stuff got to be like that at times.
I mean, it would be very simple to just hold the B button and it speeds you through the, and it speeds. I mean, it's not going to skip the animation. You'll see it, and we'll watch it the first like 5 or 6 times.
That's just something I'm really hoping that they have in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, back to the battles, since you were talking about it, I want to show one quick thing. So
You're
right here in the bottom,
look at how dumb he looks. Like
what? No, he's freaking awesome.
No,
We're not going to talk about that.
I do like his hat. His hat is cute,
His
but
hat
that's
is
the
so
only kind
cute.
of grass thing about him. It looks like he evolves into like a ground type, like a Graveler or something.
Oh yeah, I thought he was a mole at first, but actually, there was a breakdown I saw people were doing of his Japanese and of his French name. They've given out the names of all of them.
Yeah.
And his Japanese name is a mix of hedgehog and chestnut. So apparently he's a hedgehog, which is weird, but he is a hedgehog.
It's kind of grassy.
Yo, I hope he evolves into Sonic. That would be sick.
But the one thing the reason I brought back this screen was I thought maybe these are early shots without HUDs, because when they were battling, there was no health bar. But obviously there is a HUD here in this screen. You can see on the bottom, like when you first release your Pokemon, there's the number of Pokemon you have and the Pokeballs in the bottom left corner. But then when they're attacking each other,
that might not be near complete HUD, right? But I mean, if the animations are this long without a HUD, you know how even longer it would take.
Maybe the HUD is in the bottom screen. Maybe they moved everything so that the entire battle is on top screen.
That's what they probably did. I was actually waiting to bring that up. We haven't seen the bottom screen at all, and I think
sorry, all I see is Froakies balls.
I think that was on purpose. I think there's a reason we haven't seen the bottom screen, and I think a lot of that stuff's probably moved down to it. But I also have a feeling that it's going to have something to do with like the always connected bottom screen that we saw in Black and White.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
So now we've got this other gym here. This weird kind of trippy, the buildings falling together. Kind of looks like a psychic gym, or maybe.
I mean, we don't know if there's new types of Pokemon. I mean, this could be a fantasy type Pokemon. I don't know. I mean, there could be new types of Pokemon that are introduced here as well.
But it's clearly gym.
I've almost given up hope on ever seeing new types. Like,
all right.
I want one.
But look at the guy that's at the front of the gym here. This looks an awful lot like
the guy from the
Paris shot, I guess you could call it. Now, I mean, Will, you said, okay, no, I think that's your rival. It could be, because sometimes they wait for you outside of the gym and want to, say, hey, I beat this gym, I got the badge, blah, blah, blah. But it could be the guy who, it could be a placeholder for a person model.
It could be a professor. The other thing is, I kind of
could be a professor, although he looks like he's 12 years old.
Like Link. Like, I kind of really think he looks like Wind Waker Link.
Well, the guy.
No, I don't think he looks anything like Wind Waker Link.
The guy who's standing in front of the gym most of the time is the guy who gives you a can of water before your first battle and tells you like "good job, champ" and whatever.
Way to go!
Yeah, so it could be that guy too. Why he would be in Paris, I don't know. But and then we got the female model and the character model in the middle, which I actually really like. I never have played as a girl, but I don't like the character model of the guy that might play.
But you know what's weird? I mean, this is the first time that the character models are significantly different. I mean, it looks like she's got glasses on her hat too, but they're different glasses. It looks like,
and she's not wearing
she's got a
like
dress
a
on. She's got pants on
outfit,
underneath.
Yeah.
She's got a pink hat on as opposed to the gray one. I think
yellow underwear. So. She's and it's totally a thong. She's totally a thong.
Thanks.
Definitely. No,
Japanese people are modest, and she doesn't shave. Don't forget.
Yeah, but that's not a Japanese girl. That's a white girl.
Oh right. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, so let's
continue.
Oh, that was Litwick and Psyduck right here.
Yeah, you do see see Psyduck. We saw Magikarp before.
Yep, another gym right here with him bouncing around. I don't really know what that is.
Insect type gym, I think.
Fire gym maybe, and then this is not game footage.
The fire gym looks like a really awesome Zelda dungeon. A really awesome.
Now the one
Zelda
thing,
dungeon.
well, if you go back really quick
real
at the very beginning of this. I want to note that when the legendaries come in, it has the same does not represent game footage that you saw when Pikachu was out there. which makes
Yeah,
me
this
wonder
says
if
this
that's
is not. This is CG. This is pre-rendered. Clearly,
This is all pre-rendered,
Yes,
for
says
sure.
pre-rendered.
that doesn't mean it's not pre-rendered cutscenes, but
But they don't really do pre-rendered cutscenes in Pokemon, do they?
They started doing them recently.
in the beginning introduction. Like, I'm wondering if that right there is like close to what we'll see as the beginning introduction of the game.
Yeah,
Could be. If you go back to the to that shot of
Fucking
what's
deer.
Xerneas or whatever it's called,
Xerneas.
Xerneas.
And then we have Evoltel as the other one.
Yeah. You can see in his eyeball, there's an X.
Yep.
Clearly, it's going to be the X Pokemon because the other one looks like the Y. But if you zoom out a little bit and you continue to the full body shot,
You have the hair.
you can actually see the hair, but you can also see. This is kind of stolen from another video rewind, but in the color in the antlers is red, blue, and yellow. In the bottom is black and white. In the other Pokemon, it's ruby and sapphire colors. Maybe a nod to the other games in the series.
Interesting.
I never picked up on that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything. I don't think so, but we could see.
It's kind of interesting that the colors happen to be the exact same kind of thing.
I mean, but it's also, there's only so many colors.
There are. That's true. I mean, there's no diamond or pearl, but it's kind of hard to do those colors anyway. I mean, there's kind of pearl in the
But
middle.
yeah,
of
no,
that.
I mean, I think it was IGN that picked up on and noticed first the X and the Y in the fingertips and the antlers line up with the game covers too.
See, I noticed that the second I saw the game. I remember thinking, oh, that's a Y. I remember thinking, oh, the Pokemon looks like the letter Y, and then when it said X and Y and the red Y and the blue X, it dawned on me. Which makes sense. I mean, the gold and silver version were gold
same,
and silver
yeah.
Pokemon, right?
Also, I hate that deer so much.
Really? I don't know. I
Will
think it
loves
It
looks
looks
so
so
majestic.
badass. Look at that thing.
I really hope that deer is Bambi's mom and gets shot like at the
No,
end.
I think that deer
don't you
is
like
so
Princess
majestic
Mononoke?
looking.
That looks just like the deer in Princess Mononoke.
They do kind of look like the Mononoke deer. I don't know. I don't like. We've had deer Pokemon, and like, I feel like a deer legendary is so lame. It would be like having like a legendary fish. Like I like.
Well, we had Lapras. Wasn't she legendary?
No, Lapras wasn't legendary. Like,
But I mean, some of the more female, beautiful Pokemon are very. I mean, you look at Moltres was a female one, but was powerful as hell.
wait.
Zapdos and Articuno were
where
both.
are you getting off saying that Moltres was a girl?
Well, okay, but Moltres, I don't know.
What?
I feel
Yeah,
like it was a girl.
What are you talking about?
It was more feminine than Zapdos or Articuno.
What kind of
No,
Canadian weed are you
Articuno was the
smoking
most
right now?
feminine of the birds.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Articuno was kind of feminine. I'll give you that one, actually, now that I think about it.
And
All
I'm
right,
pretty
whatever.
sure.
Shut up,
did
guys.
they give genders? Have any of the legendary Pokemon ever had genders?
I don't know.
They're genderless because they can't breed.
Yeah.
Well, but hold on. Ho-Oh's clearly a hoe. No?
Oh, that was
Got it.
Oh, that was bad.
I got it. It's kind of funny, I guess.
That's
I think we should
bad
end now.
joke.
If you're Canadian, it's kind of funny.
We
okay.
spell Ho-Oh with a U.
What?
Nothing. Just go ahead.
Whatever. Anyway, let's just finish this trailer off. Pokemon X and Y, and if you look at the logos here, you can see that it kind of represents the different. That's the Y bird, and that's the X.
Yeah.
X deer.
Yeah, and you notice. I mean, the Y has the little, not antler feet, but I guess the feather feet, and the X doesn't because there's nothing coming out of the X there. So interesting stuff.
So that concludes our special Pokemon edition of the 8-Bit Awesome podcast. Thanks for joining us this week. You can listen to us on Sunday at our regular time, and have a good week. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.